Today, we're diving into something super cool, using Supabase with Python. Now, you might be wondering, why Supabase? Well, imagine having a database, authentication, and even storage all in one place and being able to solve these common problems super easily. No more headaches with setting up servers or manually handling users. Supabase has got you covered. And the best part? Integrating it into your Python projects is a breeze. Before we start, check out the Supabase website in the description below and log in. Done? Great. Let's head over to the dashboard. Click on the New Organization button. Give your organization a name. I'm keeping it simple. And for now, stick with the free plan. After that, hit Create Organization. Next, let's create a new project. You'll need to set a password, then click Create the Project, and just like that, we have a brand new Supabase project. Now to make Python communicate with Supabase, we need two keys. First, go to Project Settings, Data API, and copy the project URL. We'll use this in Python shortly. Next, go to API Keys and copy the anon public key. Keep both handy because they're essential for connecting our Python app. Before diving into Python, let's create a table in Supabase for testing. Head over to the SQL editor and create a table called Posts with columns for ID, title, content, and creation date. Hit Run and our table is ready. One important note, make sure row-level security is disabled for now. You can check whether a table's row-level security is active from the menus you see on screen. Having row-level security deactivated is not recommended, but for now, since we're just working on demo projects, it's not a big deal. All right, time to jump into Python. Make sure your URL and key are correctly assigned because if anything is wrong, you'll see an error when connecting. To use Supabase in our Python project, we first need to install the Supabase client using a pip command. It's super simple to do, and you can run the command directly in your terminal. I've already installed it, so we're ready to go. Next, we create a Supabase client in Python by providing the URL and the anon key we copied earlier. This client acts like a bridge, allowing our Python code to talk directly to Supabase. Once the client is set up, the first thing we do is test the connection. We try to fetch a single row from the post table to make sure everything is working. Running this test tells us if the connection is successful. And yes, the connection is successful. Since the table is still empty, we don't see any actual data yet, but this confirms that Python and Supabase are communicating perfectly. Now, just to see what happens if something goes wrong, we can intentionally assign an incorrect URL. Running the connection test again immediately shows a failure. Python tells us it can't connect, which is a helpful way to catch mistakes early. After correcting the URL back to the right value, we test once more, and boom, connection successful again. So now we've done it. We created a Supabase project, set up a Python client, tested the connection, and confirmed everything works. From here, we're ready to take what we've learned one step further and start performing actual operations like creating, reading, updating, and deleting data in our Python project. All right, our connection is working perfectly, so now let's move on and actually add some data into our table. We're importing date time, then creating a little dictionary with 3 fields, a title, some content, and the created at column, which takes the current time in UTC. After that, we use the Supabase client to insert this data into the post table. If it works, we'll see the new row printed out, and if something goes wrong, we'll see an error message. Okay, let's run it and see what happens. And success! We've just inserted our very first post into the Supabase database directly from Python. Now, to make sure the data is really there, let's do a quick select, just like we did earlier. First, let's select the ID column from our table and run the code. And there we go. We've successfully fetched the ID. Next, let's fetch the title column. The point here is that you can pass column names to the select function to fetch exactly what you want. I want to show all the columns one by one so we can see ID, title, content, and created at individually. Of course, if you want to grab everything at once, you can also use the asterisk shot to fetch all columns. Now let's do the same select operation directly on the Supabase website. In the SQL editor, I'll write a simple select query, and as you can see, we can view the data we just inserted. All right, now that we've covered this, it's time to take what we've learned one step further. Now I'm going to try inserting multiple rows directly on the Supabase website. You can do this easily with an insert command. All right, I've just added 5 more rows into the post table. Now let's try fetching them with Python. But this time, we're not going to fetch everything. Let's go back and run the same select command we used earlier. Now the table has 6 rows, but notice we only got one result back. Why? Because the limit was set to 1. So let's remove the limit and try again. And there we go. Now we can see all the rows in our table. But here's the thing, we don't always want to fetch everything. For example, we can use the equal function to fetch a specific row. Let's grab the one where the ID equals 2. Super easy. Now let's do the same for the row where the ID equals 6. Perfect. All right, let's take this one step further and learn how to update data. Here's the update command. It simply updates the content of the row where the ID is 6. Let's run it and see what happens. And yes, the row with ID 6 has been updated successfully. To make sure, I fetched it again, and the new content is right there. Now let's learn how the delete command works. This one targets the row where the ID is 6 and deletes it from the table. Let's run it and check, and there it is. The delete was successful. If I fetch the data again, the row with ID 6 is gone. And that's it. That's the full CRUD cycle with Python and Supabase. Super easy, super powerful, and perfect for building modern applications. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more tutorials, and I'll see you in the next one.